Very good day to you. I'm Jonathan Abrahams. I'm from the Monash University Disaster Resilience Initiative, and my experience in emergency management goes back to when I was working in Veterans Affairs on mental health programs for veterans, and also with Emergency Management Australia in the 1990s. And throughout my career, I got to say that as in life, respectful, trustful relationships have been vital to everything and anything that's worked well. And of course, telltale signs for something that was not going to work well have been when individualism, ego, and mistrust have gotten in the way of collective action, of people working together effectively. And that's resulted in tragic and avoidable impacts on people's lives, their livelihoods, the environment, and other assets or aspirations, values that communities have. So I'm privileged to be a member of the 2024 steering group for the Natural Hazards Research Australia Disaster Challenge. I'm happy to be working with professional colleagues from academia, from policy, from practice, and of course working with the members of the NHRA team, with Brendan, with Vicky, with Nathan, and everybody who's making this challenge possible. So as you probably have heard or will hear, there's obviously many challenges and wicked problems that we could set for this particular year. We've landed on this one, and we've done our best to frame it as succinctly as possible. If I were a member of a team entering this challenge, I'd be asking myself some pretty challenging questions. For example, how does our team understand the problem and the challenge that's been set? How could we investigate the challenge? How can we consult with others to get an understanding of their perspectives on this particular challenge? And they could come from across our communities, across our society. What are some of the key words in the challenge statement that's been set, and how do we sustain and build trust in our communities, in our relationships, and across all of society, and for what purpose and to what end? So evidence and research contribute very much to community safety, to community resilience, to climate change adaptation, to emergency and disaster risk management. It's important also to emphasize that this is very much a practical exercise to address a very practical challenge facing our communities. So how will our teams proposed solutions and our ideas, how will they contribute practically to improving outcomes and impacts for communities or subpopulations, given that we have very diverse communities here in Australia? So whilst the task is couched as a problem and as a particular challenge, how can our solution put attention on strengths and opportunities? While we're often talking about risk as a source of harm, it's also important to say that risk is also an expression of opportunity, of innovation, of progress, of ways by which we can incentivize the way that risk can be managed effectively. And whilst we often use the term emergency and disaster, it's not just about preparing for, responding to, and recovering from such events. It's also how will our solutions contribute to prevention, to mitigation, to lessening the risks, and to stopping the emergencies and disasters from occurring in the first place. So it's very clear that we have many actors in our communities who are contributing to community safety, to sustainability, and to resilience. So how will our solutions help build trusting, effective relationships amongst those actors? How can they be sustained as well? How will we address trust and trustworthiness? Is it sufficient to say that this is a two-way street? How will our solutions address the multiplicity of actors who are in our communities contributing to emergency and disaster risk management? Or are we going to focus on a particular issue, a set of actors, or a particular niche of emergency and disaster risk management that we really want to focus on? How, and of course asking the question, why is that important? You need to be able to convey that to us very effectively. So how might these relationships that we develop in emergency and disaster risk management also be a force for good in society at large? How could they contribute to social cohesion and other aspirations for our communities? And how could these relationships or how will these relationships need to build on existing relationships in our communities and societies? So we haven't set this challenge because we know the answers or the solutions, far from it. What we're looking for are your creative, evidence-based, innovative, but practical solutions for community safety, for community resilience, and sustainability of communities and for all Australians. So it's exciting for you to participate as a team to address this particular challenge. In effect, you will be practicing trustful, respectful relationships to ensure that your team comes together to work effectively, to collaborate on putting this submission together on your application to address this challenge. But equally for us who are in the steering group, we're excited. I'm excited to be on the receiving end of your proposals. We're really looking forward to you taking on this year's challenge and putting in your submissions. And from many perspectives, from your perspective as individuals, from a team perspective, from the emergency management community, and from the Australian society as a whole, we're all going to be winners out of this exercise. So thank you very much for taking on this particular challenge, and good luck, and I wish you very well. Thank you.